Another rough outing for Sonny Gray. What did you see as the issue tonight?
Just long counts, behind in the count. And was able to dodge a bullet there in the first inning, making a pitch, but just, you looked up and the strike balls were the same, and it was a lot of just deep counts and enough where he was falling behind where eventually they were able to take advantage of a mistake and just, so a tough one.
Second straight tough one, and he's been inconsistent all season long. What's your level of concern when it comes to him in the rotation?
I mean, I am concerned, but we also believe in the stuff, and we're as best we can. We got to try and help him right the ship a little bit, because again, even tonight, the stuff's there. It's the equipment to get it done, but I think in a little bit of a stretch where sometimes you want it so bad and you're trying so hard to make the perfect pitch that you get yourself in trouble, and they are able to take advantage of mistakes, and ultimately, pitching comes down to up here about commanding it how you want, and that's what we got to help him improve.
Do you feel like he can right the ship in the rotation, or do you start thinking about some other things?
I think he can right it in the rotation, and he's got another one coming up in Baltimore, and I do feel like it's one of those things that can click for him, and one good start can lead to another, and it can start to snowball like we've seen at times this year. But we gotta help him get there in every way.
Aaron, he's been so good here. I guess Blue Jays in general, but especially here. So does this make you think there's really something that's off?
No, I just think he didn't pitch well. I put a little less stock into who and where and all that. It's getting him right and making his pitches and controlling the count, getting himself into good counts, and then making pitches when he has a chance to put guys away. That's just what he's really struggled with.
You see Hale goes 6 innings, pretty good outing. You won't consider taking him out of rotation for at least a turn after the All-Star break to let him clear his head or so?
I don't think so, no. I don't think we would do that before the All-Star break, and Hale picked us up big time tonight. I mean, that was, saves our pen, and frankly, kept us in it enough to, we had some traffic out there with a chance to really make a game of it, but it was a really nice job by him. But no, I don't think we're considering that right now.
Is time getting short, though? We're past the midway point of the season. His ERA is close to 6. Yeah. I know you like his stuff, but at some point you need results, don't you?
Sure, absolutely. And, I mean, these are things that, we consider, but, we also feel like it's on all of us to help him get it right, and hopefully that starts with the work tomorrow and the days leading up to his next start.
Aaron, what are you saying that's encouraging right now with him?
Enough, the way the ball's coming out. I'm seeing, first of all, this is a guy with a track record of success that's 28 years old, that when you watch him throw, you see that guy. For even in these outings where he struggles, he flashes that guy. This is not an injured pitcher or a guy that's past his prime that's trying to find it. This is a guy that's just kind of struggling, that's really talented, and that's why I think we're so reticent to try and help him get it right and believe it can happen here, is because we are seeing it come out the way similar to when he's been really successful.
You talk about trying to do too much, wanting it so badly, it almost seems like it's a bit mental as well. What can you do from your vantage point to try to correct that aspect of it?
I mean, that's just, I think Larry and everyone kind of in between starts, getting him into that good place, and then, with the risk of being simple here is, executing a pitch early and having a good hitter where you're doing what you want and you're putting the ball where you want, and then it can kind of start to snowball a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we got to start to see that, obviously.
Is that a mental block more than a physical block?
I don't know. Sometimes you can certainly want it, and that can get in your way a little bit. There's no question. I mean, there's that's a hard balance to strike as an athlete, is that where you're committed, focused, locked in, working at your craft, but having a level of, I'm just going to go out here and let the chips fall a little bit. So, that's a challenge always for an athlete, and especially when you go through some struggles, is finding that place. I mean, I've been there personally, where you just kind of have to let go a little bit and trust the ability.
There are some guys that, through the years, haven't been able to handle adversity pitching in New York. Mm-hmm. What makes you believe that he is a guy that can handle it?
The ability. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. Like,
I meant there's guys that have ability,
sure,
that do well elsewhere that come to New York.
I mean, I don't know what I would see necessarily. I see a guy that wants the ball, that I don't think is running from anything. I don't think there's a look or anything I see one way or the other that's like, oh, he can or he can't. And I think sometimes we too often run to, he can do it here, he can't do it here, and we put guys in that little box. I don't necessarily think that's fair all the time. Sometimes you struggle, and sometimes, it can happen in a lot of places. And, you go through a period in your career where you kind of question things, and it's speeding up on you and spinning a little bit on you, and I think that can happen a lot of different places. All I can say is, I feel like it's in there for him to be effective no matter where we play. And but I would grant you that's we certainly got to start to see that.
Aaron, pitching aside, the offense had opportunity, and they did not come up in certain situations. That at bat in the fifth with Stanton. Mm-hmm. Is there frustration on your part when you see a guy as good a hitter as Stanton is get ahead 3-0 in the count and not be able to come through in that spot?
I mean, we all want him to come through and always get a big hit, but you'll beat your head into the wall. The bottom line is, more often than not, you're not going to come through. And, he got a 3-0 pitch that he tipped and then made a couple pitches on him. So, I mean, that's happened. Again, I go back to, we want to create traffic, continue to create traffic. The more we can do that, the more we're going to score, the more we're going to win. And, we just didn't get that hit that put us over tonight.
Is he swinging 3-0 on his own then?
No. That's
And then do you feel like you just have no other options with Gray? Like, why you're keeping him in there? Given you could play in that one-game playoff, if you're running this guy out there, do you just feel like you have no other options? No better options, maybe?
I mean, part of it is right now we feel like he's our best option. That's certainly part of it.